Well, the Tigers are alive in the Premiership race, and as you'd expect, the Leichhardt Lobels have responded with a full house and one of the most iconic venues in the competition. Their chances of appearing in the finals, yes, they're slim, but while there's life, there's hope. And after so many seasons without a big game to play in September, hope is all the Tigers fans have had to cling to for far too long. And hope might be the theme of the night, because the Dragons fans are running out of hope that yet another late season fade will turn around in time for the one-time competition leaders to reignite their premiership aspirations. They've lost 5 of their last 6. There is no Gareth Widdop, and the forwards' fire has been extinguished. But maybe at famous old Leichhardt Oval, things will turn around tonight for the famous Red V.
In the context of the season, for the St George Illawarra Dragons, this is a huge game. Jack de Belin, 150th NRL game. I'll need a big one from him and Kurt Meany coming into the side with Gareth Widdop, their heart and soul. He is out of this side tonight. Last week, the Dragons, they hit rock bottom up against Parramatta. Last place Parramatta, they got beat 40 points to 4. They need to resurrect their season and turn it around tonight.
It's been wild and windy in Sydney here this afternoon. And the second of 3 games live on Super Saturday. And the Tigers fans, with faces painted and hope in their hearts that they can keep this miraculous late season charge going here tonight against a team battling to remain relevant in the race for the title in 2018. They've won 4 of their last 5 to give themselves the faintest of hopes. They beat the Dragons back in round 18, 20 points to 16. That one at Cogra. And in this, their 3rd game of the season at Leichhardt. And their first appearance here against the Dragons in 17 long seasons. The last time these 2 teams met was back in 2001, a night where Nathan Blacklock scored an incredible try. The Dragons held sway on that occasion. Luke Brooks had a mixed day last week against Canberra, but he got the job done. He'll be targeted defensively tonight by the Dragons, but at his best, and here at Leichhardt against the team he made his debut against at the Sydney Cricket Ground back in 2013. He should be fired up here tonight, Kevy.
No doubt he will be, and so will that man, Mahi Whenua, last played in round 15 against the Raiders. He's a big lump of a man. He's got the hairstyle flowing as well. The locks, they're out. He's a terrific attacking player, Whenua. Russell Packer waiting for his collect. He comes off the back fence from these kickoffs, so they want to start strong here, the Dragons.
It'll be Tim Laffer to get us underway here at Leichhardt, in front of a full house. They've had to close the gates today with so much riding on this contest. The kickoff bouncing down and taken there by Kevin Nagama, almost a mix-up for the Tigers, and Nagama comes midfield and will play it here just inside the 20. Robbie Farah back at Leichhardt, getting it on to Mahi Whenua, straight into the action. Playing in the centres tonight. After breaking his arm back in round 15, returns here at the end of the season, and at his best, he was damaging in his first 10 games of the season for the Tigers.
Together, James, hold!
Just short of the 40-metre line. Goes across to Matt Eisenhuth, who finds himself again in the starting side. Chris Lawrence back for the Tigers tonight after a hamstring and also hand injury. And now Brooks is going to get caught on the last play in their own half.
Yeah, it was great work from Sims, wasn't it, there? One part of his game that's been very effective for the Dragons this year is his kick pressure, and he did a great job there. Brooks couldn't get his kick away. Great start for the Dragons.
Tarek Sims getting out, putting him under all sorts of pressure, and Brooks nabbed. The Tigers now backtracking towards their own 20 as Jack de Belin brings it forward. The Dragons didn't make a line break in the entire game last week in that 40 points to 4 loss to the Eels. A chance, though, on the attack immediately here tonight As they play it through Sims, it comes back to Graham, to Bellin, shifting it on a poor pass pressure here. Marshall sneaking up there on Kurt Mann and almost coming up with possession. As Dufty links up with Leilua, quick hand to Lathai. The pass to Pereira has been ruled forward.
There's a shocking pass from de Bellin that put the Dragons in an awful position on the 5th tackle, and unfortunately for them, they couldn't retreat quick enough, and the execution on their last play was poor. They'll need better than that.
Well, as we said, a cold, windy afternoon here going into the evening at Leichhardt. Hannah Hollis joining us on the sideline. It's cool down here at Leichhardt tonight, Hannah.
Warren, it's fresh on the ground here, but that hasn't stopped anyone tonight. Officially a sellout crowd here at Leichhardt Oval. There's no rain about and the track looks fast. The only threat tonight is this wind. It's strong, it's unrelenting. The palms were swaying, even the goalpost was shaking earlier. Fullbacks and goal kickers, beware.
We'll see how they fare in these conditions. It's been a fairly strong westerly throughout most of the day. I don't know that it'll favour either of these teams all that much. It should be blowing straight across the ground for the most part in this opening half at least. The Tigers get their chance now after the Dragons couldn't get through a set of 6 inside the West 20. Taylor tipping it on for Russell Packer. Tigers off the back of a narrow win last week against the Raiders in Canberra. Natalino working it towards the uprights. Early pressure in the Dragons' defensive line as Marshall turns it back on the inside here for Masters, who goes to Mbai. A chance for Nua. Grabbed from behind there. McDonald got to him. It comes back. The Tigers stay alive. And Mbai will play it there a metre out from the line. Goes back through Brooks, Eisenhuth, Marshall, quick pass, Masters, Pereira out of the line for the Dragons. Did enough to hold him up as the help came across in the shape of Laffey. Norfoluma for Marshall, grubbering in behind them. Well picked up by Dufty, and he'll play it here a metre out from the Dragons line.
Great set of 6 there from the West Tigers, threatening on both edges. Isan Masters, the pass over to Fanua, and Fanua, the tackle from Laffey was brilliant, stopped a certain try. Looking dangerous early, the Tigers.
They scored 3 tries last week against the Raiders, while Canberra had Joey Leilua in the sin bin. It was 13 on 13 last week. Canberra by far the better team as far as the point scoring was concerned, and point scoring has been an issue for West throughout this season, but their defence has got them to this point where they are still a faint hope, a faint hope of appearing in the big games in September as Mbai brings it back. We'll stop him just outside the 10.
I know it's only early days, but it's the different Dragons team that I've seen in the last month of football. Little things in their game, their line speed, kicking early on that occasion. It's been much improved in the opening. We've only had 5 minutes, but I like what I'm seeing from the Dragons.
First things will be to get their hands in order, because last week they completed just 39% of the ball, which is quite incredible. Completed 20 of 30 against the Eels with 39%. There's a slim possession rates in any game as Marshall puts it high in the air, a spiralling torpedo. Dufty coming across, knocks it on. Brooks is there, plays at it, comes up with the ball. It's going to be a knock on in the first instant by Dufty, but what a kick by Marshall.
It's a double knock on. This kick from Marshall is an absolute pearler. It's a torpedo kick.
Yes.
It floats late, and Dufty, he had no chance. I thought he could have let it bounce. It was that difficult to take for Dufty, but he made a play at it, and he's come up with an error. And you see here, it just floats away late. It is very hard. And Brooks, he puts a kick through, but comes up with an error himself. Now the Tigers on the attack and looking ominous.
Well, particularly that breeze, isn't it, blowing across the ground. It made it even more difficult for Dufty to try and grab the ball. The Dragons will be tested here again. They held up nicely in that opening set of 6, defending their trial on it. See where they go here.
Marshall sweeping to the left-hand side. Fanua there, one-on-one with Aitken. Hands it off for Nangama. And they'll play it here about 5 out from the Dragons line. A trick play off the back of the scrum win. Marshall again. Kick that was to get them this chance. Eisenhuth working it forwards, taking the ground there. DeBellin underneath. Frizzell and Graham over the top. Here's Packer down Main Street. And towards Graham. Moving around the legs there, Frizzell. Make sure he hits the deck. Farah comes out to Brooks. First man play there for Cheekham. A sneaky angle. And it was a good effort by Laffey to make that tackle. A kick from Farah into the legs of the Dragons. Not played at. And they're going to say that he knocked it on in trying to clean it up. They were about to get one more play, the sixth and final. And now Robbie and Tim Laffey have a little chat about things early on.
They're just asking what you had for dinner last night, mate. But good defence here again, wasn't it, from the Dragons? Farah tried the little grubber through, just came off the legs there of Laffey, and can't really see a knock on there, but
maybe it's a little slight suggestion that bounced off the left forearm before he was able to clean it up.
Yeah, the Tigers are asking questions on every play. They look threatening every time they touch the ball, whether they go left or right, or Robbie Farah gets in there a dummy half. But you're right, Kevy, the defence of the Dragons early on has had to be stronger, and it has been.
It's been their middle defence as well, their ruck defence. Very solid through there, which in the last month they've been a little bit off through that middle period.
McDonald will play it here just outside the Dragons 20. No score as yet. 8 minutes gone. The famous old Leichhardt Oval. Bursting at the seams here tonight. The Dragons visit for the first time in almost 2 decades. We're back here just short of the 40. Frizzell working it to Farah. Good carry right there. And it's been missing in recent times from most of the Dragons forwards as Hunt puts it up. Send them by back inside his own 10. Makes a comfortable catch there on an over-end kick. The Dragons will have him just outside the 10. It's going to be a penalty for a dangerous tackle on the Dragons' chasers.
He just got in an awkward position there, didn't he? The chase was coming through. Let's have a look at one underneath there. His man just tried to lift it above horizontal there. I guess that's a penalty break.
It's a penalty. It's just unnecessary from Kurt Mann because it's a great set of 6 from the Dragons. They've gone the full length of the field. They put a nice kick in. Their chase was on point. And to come up with a ill-disciplined play like that lets the Tigers off the hook, gives them a breather. Now they'll find touch and march on down the field.
Marshall's kick for the line into the breeze. Here's a good one. They'll have a 10 short of the halfway line, and Masters it is. To give it off to Matalino. Really subdued this Matcham Robinson stand crowd on the western side of Leichhardt to begin the game. Boy, it can get raucous here, and the Tigers are rocking. Matalino again, just outside the 30. Play it for Farah with Marshall on the left-hand side. Brooks switching to the right-hand side, showing it and almost sneaking in behind them. He was good at doing that last week early against the Raiders. Marshall for Packer. Take it towards the uprights, offloads. Masters is there looking for a chance, and he is hard to contain. Dumps it out the back, play on. Farah off the back of Marshall, picked up there by Duffy. It was touched on the way through, off the pass from Robbie Farah.
Yeah, I really like the balance in the spine of the West Tigers at the moment. They've come a long way, and they've all got a purpose and a role to play. And they're looking really effective early on. Here it is, Esau Masters. It must have been touched there from it. There it is there. I think there's a hand in that pass from Farah. It looks like Tyson Frizzell. And when Robbie came back into the side, as we look at Leilua, hopefully he's okay, and the coach is, McGregor, concerned with the onslaught early on. But when Farah come back into the side, he was quite duck dominant in that number 9 role. Here it is, an elbow to the throat from Packer. He's got him good. It doesn't seem like Packer's got a case to answer at the moment.
Might be the pertinent term there, at the moment, of course, because foul play can be looked at by the boys in the bunker.
Well, you know, Sam Burgess got suspended for this on Morris against the Bulldogs early on in the year, and, well, very similar. You know, he missed games because of it, so you'd think there'd be at least a penalty for that.
Well, I don't think we're going to get one. This Leichhardt crowd. Maybe they're not. Well, that's I'm only having a joke, of course. The referees,
of course,
never do that.
we know that, Kevin.
But this crowd just looks so great, doesn't it? They're still streaming through the gates here, making their way to find some vacant area to watch this game from. Great spectacle.
Good luck in doing that. They're jammed on the hill. Brooks, Fanua coming hard and straight. Popped it up. And the tackle there of Jack de Belin. No surprise. It was the New South Wales Origin forward who made the tackle to stop Fanua's charge.
Well, that's how he tackled through Origin. He's back.
Watch it again. He goes back against the grain here, and de Belin there closing the door on him, and also they're involved in the tackle. Was it Ewan Aiken?
McInnes, I think it was.
Defending outside the scrum. Of course, the hooker would have been standing out there in the back line.
The modern day game was.
Here he is, back in a more familiar role, feeding it to Ben Hunt to kick from outside the 40, off the outside of the boot. And when things aren't going your way, it's amazing how they just keep going against you.
Well, that kick works with the breeze, doesn't it, as well? So I think he was looking for a 40-20, but he managed to get himself just outside the 40 by the time he caught it. And let's have a look. Well, it's out by a fair bit.
It's nearly in the crowd, Kevin.
Yes, it's a crowd ball.
The spotlight's on Ben Hunt. There's a lot of pressure on him tonight, and that's not a good start from him.
Got a hole.
As Manolino working it forward to play it here just outside the 20. Tigers with plenty of chances. Already 8 tackles inside the Dragons' red zone. Marshall there for Brooks, and then Elijah Taylor. His left edge wrong tonight before Lawrence comes off the bench. He almost broke them. Brooks trying to do exactly that. They cough it up again. It was Dufty there to make the tackle, but they're going to say that Ben Hunt wasn't square at marker, and the Tigers get 6 more plays.
Yeah, Luke Brooks is looking really good. The little maestro drifting across the field. He's thrown some beautiful passes. This time, he realises they're not square. He knows that Ben Hunt has been called off, and he takes him on. He come up with an error, Brooks, but it's a penalty against Ben Hunt. They're going to tap and go here. I like this decision.
And it's Russell Packer. The elbows down this time to play it right in front of the uprights. Farah for Madalino. About 3 away when he was stopped there by de Belin and also McInnes. Farah goes across to Marshall. Eisenhuth gets a chance this time. They've had 3 cracks at almost running the exact same play, and all 3 times they've put it down.
Yeah, again, ball going to ground. Stop watching the ball there, Eisenhuth. The pass was on the money from Marshall. He knows it too, the young lad. Caught it right sort of in contact, but Marshall looking to lay a line there, I think, and come back to their right side.
Yeah, Kevin, the idea is right, and the execution has just been off, whether it be the pass or the catch. They're playing very square, they're playing direct, they're throwing short passes, and they're catching the Dragons with one-on-one defenders and nearly getting through. They're poking their heads through, but they're just letting themselves down this end of the field when it matters the most.
And the completions across the season have been great. They're at 78%, but just at the moment they're sitting at 70, so they need to get that up if they want to beat the Dragons tonight.
Keep you across the live ladder throughout the game as well. All of these games this weekend, apart from last night's affair over at Brookvale, having a bearing on the top 8. De Belin to work it forward, stopped here just beyond the Dragons 40. 4 plays gone in the set as Frizzell tries to find that space in behind the ruck and sneak in behind the A defenders. Gets a quick play the ball, and Hunt puts it up again. An end-over-end kick. By far the easier of the kicks to catch after what we saw from Benji Marshall, that perfect spiral he terrorised Dufty with earlier in the game. I don't know if Hunt has that spiral in his arsenal. Morphaluma comes midfield for a carry. We'll play it here just outside the 20. Marshall goes to Michael Cheekan. In good form playing on this right edge for Ivan Cleary, and as it was last week, where penalties really hurt the Dragons against the Eels, they're behind already in the penalty count tonight, 4-0.
Work it back, Moses.
Yeah, Benji was away there, wasn't he? Wanting to take the quick tap. Just a little bit of ill discipline again from the Dragons. Their line speed is good, their contact is good, but they're just not quite getting it right at the end of the tackle. A couple of penalties for offside and not square at marker.
Oh no, that's not even close.
It is a real shank from Benji Marshall. Didn't go within 5 metres of the sideline, and they turn it back over to the Dragons, who have it here through Dufty outside the St George Illawarra 30. What a miss. Well, the veteran 5'8" back at Leichhardt, potentially for the final time in his career, and likewise Robbie Farrell. While the club is in negotiations, there'll be no decision made until after the season has finished, whatever that may be for the Tigers. Is this the last appearance for the veteran duo here tonight, as Hunt turns it back on the inside? Aitken. And back into the tackle there of Madalino. Farah and Taylor also involved, and now Hunt steps away from Taylor. Gets the pass under the arm there of Farah, and then, boy, a rainbow pass, had them under pressure, and then again Hunt ends up with it. It goes back to Graham, and that will be the changeover. A disastrous final play for the Dragons.
Well, it's a shocker. There's really no planning at all going into that fifth tackle option. They're just throwing it out the back. And they're just hoping. It's just throwing a pass and hoping for the best, and that is not going to get the job done tonight.
Well, we'd like to see Ben Hunt run the ball, but probably not on that occasion. He got his timing wrong, as you say, Braith, and then it just got ugly from there, didn't it?
On your side, Joe.
Good shot.
And it was Kurt Mann. And he finished the season in the halves for the Dragons in 2017. The final 3 games of the season, played 7 games in the halves in total in 2017, before, of course, the arrival of Ben Hunt in the pre-season. Farah kicking towards the corner, turning them around. McDonald going back to the end goal. It'll bounce one more time and give the Dragons 7 tackles.
Yeah, it's a good idea from Robbie Farah.
In the middle.
Tap it in the middle there, Nene McDonald. But nice idea, wasn't it, from Farah, trying to catch the Dragons a little bit off guard, just a bit long on the weight.
Jordan Pereira again on the left wing tonight. Jason Nightingale on the outside looking in at the back end of his career. Speaking of veterans, he'll force his way back into this team. But Pereira keeping him out rather for the moment. Control the player. Goes to Graham. Here's Frizzell. Behind DeBellin. No call there. Nobody disadvantaged in the defensive line. Quick play the ball from Frizzell. And here's Hunt out the back. Goes to Mann. Cut out ball. Good pass to Pereira. Wrapped up there by Masters. Also on his right hand side, David Norfoluma. Hunt for Graham. Work it inside the 20. Last tackle here for the Dragons. They'd love a repeat set. DeBellin takes a carry and goes out the back. Hunt steps inside them, still going. He tried to reach out and lost it in trying to put it on the line.
So close, yet so far
Just want to confirm
away.
that we don't have a grounding here, please, mate.
We're checking the grounding here. Ben Hunt, great lead-up work. He falls just short here. Moses Mbai makes a brilliant tackle.
Of Ben Hunt. He loses possession over the goal line. We have a decision.
Well, he deserved this, Ben Hunt. He's been under all sorts of pressure, so much scrutiny, and he come up with a big play here. He just couldn't get that ball over the line. Great defence from Moses Mbai, but it was there, Kebby, where he run the footy. He stepped off his right. This is when he's at his best.
Yeah, it certainly is, and what a great tackle from Mbai to stop him from scoring there. Nearly got it, not quite, but that's the effect of Ben Hunt when he can run the ball. Again, that was last play, but he was coming onto the ball and off that right foot, which is a great asset that he's got.
What I like too, but in the lead-up work, was Kurt Mann helping out on this left-hand edge and putting a dint in the Tigers, which then let Ben Hunt play his natural game. Like to see more of that.
Tigers work it back. On 3 plays of this 7 tackle set, Marshall back on the inside for Packer. They wanted to burn one there and just get a forward to take a carry while they get themselves organised. Offload, though, has Farah linking with Cheekan. Kurt Mann is there and wraps him up just outside the 20 as Norfoluma jumps out of dummy half. Here's Farah. Back on the inside for Elijah Taylor. Good tackle by McInnes. It's a knock on in the play, the ball. They keep working their way inside the 20, but they just can't find the play to get themselves across the line. Another mistake in great field position by West.
Well, just a little fumble in the play, the ball, wasn't it? Taylor knew, he hands on his face, over his eyes there.
Yeah, they've made 5 errors already in the first 20 minutes, the West Tigers, and their completion rate is under 70%, and just not giving themselves the opportunity to really ice the position they've been in. They look dominant early on, but doesn't show on the scoreboard.
Something they've had trouble with all year, haven't they? Scoring points. They've got the least points scored in the NRL. It's around 23.
And they're battling to avoid being the worst scoring West Tiger side since the joint venture came into being. Get some points in the next 3 weeks if they're to, of course, remain a factor in this premiership. Just a reminder, we showed you a moment ago, of course, the next game coming up, the Sharks against the Cowboys, live from Southern Cross Group Stadium. JT, Jonathan Thurston's final Sydney game, and Fox League will follow the champs every step. His last Sydney game ever. We'll have the post-game after the clash between the Sharks and the Cowboys as per usual, with Vonnie and the boys rather frozen, I'd suggest, by the time they get to full-time down there at Cronulla tonight. Hunt finds the sideline here. The Tigers will have the scrum feed. Beyond the midway point of this first half, still no score at Leichhardt.
Yeah, nice kick there from Ben Hunt. He's just got to keep it simple this evening. He's in full control. Well, he needs to be. I mean, Gareth Widdop mentioned before the game, the heart and soul, the creator for the for the St George Illawarra Dragons now for the last couple of seasons. So dominant in that number 6 role. Ben Hunt, big shoes to fill without him being there.
The base of the scrum, we mentioned before the kickoff, 17 years since the Dragons have been here. The last time they were here back in 2001, 27-22, a game of great contrast here tonight with so much on the line for both these clubs. The Dragons try to get something going again with another late season fade. Their record over the past 6 or 7 seasons, pretty much since they won the Premiership in 2010, in the 10 games before the finals. It's a poor one as Farah from dummy half finds Eisenhuth. Here's Taylor coming out to be grabbed by Kurt Mann, who's been strong defensively. Last play and another penalty.
Well, that hurts. That's on the 5th tackle, and that's the 5th penalty of the game. St George are yet to receive a penalty in this match. 5-0.
They lost the penalties 10-5 last week against the Eels, but the first 6 all went to Parramatta straight. And Benji gets the Bronx cheer from the Latcham Robertson stand crowd after finding the sideline this time.
There is no worse feeling than not finding touch off a penalty. It's a shocking feeling.
And they find the try line here in this set. Jesse Sue is out there, unsigned and a free agent beyond the end of this 2018 campaign as he goes through the hands of Eisenhuth. Marshall on a tear. Lawrence fresh out there. He loses it. And it seems the closer they get to the line, the worse the Tigers' handling becomes.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. They tried to offload, the ball just came out, but promising attack again from the Tigers. Just that last pass not going, or last offload. Look at the replay box here. He's just lost that.
They've made 6 errors so far in the game. I guarantee a handful of them, 5 at least, have been inside the 20, maybe inside the 10 even. Lisa Narmau is out there. Here is DeBellin out the back. Man bounces off Marshall's attempted tackle. Blows by Masters. Picked up back in the middle of the field, and a good tackle by Sue, who may have hurt himself It clutched at his right shoulder, having just come off the bench. Now Hunt, towards the corner. Nangama going back, and Byers also there. Rev and Kev put one down, and luckily for him it went backwards.
Yeah, lucky, all right. Gee, Hunt put that kick up just a little bit of breeze around in that far corner. Just couldn't catch it cleanly. Fortunately, it's gone back.
Well, you should have caught this one.
Yeah.
It was a pretty simple one there from Kevy.
Morphaluma offloading. It goes back to Farah, who shows it, then sees a bit of space and gets through it. Beat the tackle there of Leilua and gets yet another penalty, number 6. And after half a dozen, here is the official warning.
Cameron, are you the captain? Are you the captain? Mate, you've had too many. You've had 4 in the ruck and a number of others.
What do you want to do? Concentrate on.
Mate, I want you to concentrate on the speed of the ruck, and you're going to go to the blood bin because you're bleeding behind from your head. But the message goes now that if you have another one soon, there's a chance of sitting down.
Okay, mate, yeah.
Stop there, Matty.
Yeah.
Wait.
Just wait.
Cameron, time's up.
Well, the injured Gareth Widdop rather anxious behind Paul McGregor and Ben Hornby in the coach's box here at Leichhardt. You can imagine that. 2 straight weeks they've been down 6-0 in the penalties.
That's the problem was, if it's just a one-off, then you can kind of understand that it happens. But 2 weeks in a row, there's something they need to change, and they need to change it ASAP because they cannot afford to give the Tigers so much ball in good field position. They're just lucky the Tigers have made so many errors. This should be, I mean, this is, what are we waiting for here?
Well, he's getting his head taped up, and
Go off.
the Leichhardt Oval fans are loving it. Not really.
Stirring the pot.
Well, I do. They're very boisterous, aren't they?
We've got enough stoppages.
For the moment, the trainer might get giddy going around Cameron McInnes that many times, trying to apply the tape. I'll look after him. We'll be back underway in a moment or two, folks. Don't go anywhere.
Yep.
So much riding on this contest. And, of course, the Sharks in action against the Cowboys. The 3rd and final game. The Fox League, of course, where we are ad-free during play, as always. Again, they don't forget, do they? They've got long memories here at Leichhardt. Benji gets the old Bronx cheer again. Eisenhuth. He'll play it 10 metres out from the Dragons line as Farah waits. Brooks has him by going with him. DeBellin cutting through a hole. Graham screaming at the referee for an obstruction call there. He got no joy. Masters it is. Held up in the tackle of Graham and Duffy with DeBellin underneath. They're set for a long left-hand side. Brooks changes his mind, an old-fashioned run around. Then Robbie puts a grubber in. Nobody chasing, though. Aitken played at it, or did he? They'll say not. It's a 7-tackle set for the Dragons from the 20. I don't know. That was what they were setting themselves for.
No, Robbie, he had to get that kick right. It was an instinctive play. You've seen the space in behind the Dragons, and he didn't execute the kick good enough. It was too deep. You'll see here Aitken and Nene McDonald. They don't make a play at it. Well left by them, but again, an opportunity missed from the Tigers.
They have created plenty of chances inside the 20, but they are a ducking. They're doing something off the back of it. Here is man down the sideline. Pereira, he'll score. What a turnaround by the Dragons. Terrific hands down the left-hand side. They will check to look at the sideline, but it was all good.
We have Troy. Just want to check the touchline, please.
Let's see if Pereira gets the ball down. And it looks like he will. Nofaluma, he tries to tackle Pereira, but Pereira breaks free.
Remains in the field of play and grounds the ball in the end goal. We have a decision.
And there is absolutely no doubt about this. Jordan will score for St George Illawarra Dragons, and it was the lead-up work from Luciano Leilua, the big probing back rower who started the game tonight, comes up with a big play down the short side. Watch this, he's a skillful man. He gets in between Eson Masters and Benji Marshall. Beautiful pass to Kurt Mann, and Kurt Mann onto Pereira. With still 20 metres to run, he gets past the diving David Norfoluma. Great execution, great hit back.
Yeah, they've had a bit of success down this left edge, haven't they? The Dragons tonight. On that occasion, Big Leilua streaming through. He punched a hole through, and we know he's an offloader as well, so very hard to handle on that edge. And the support was there to finish off. Dragons have been scheming for the last 5 or 6 minutes looking for the try, and they got it.
They had the right edge of the Tigers' defensive line going backwards. Marshall on the back pedal, couldn't stop Leilua. The kick from out wide is a beauty from Tim Laffey. 6-0, the Dragons on top despite this lopsided penalty count, Hannah.
Yeah, we finally have some points on the board. Warren Smith, isn't it great? A little story about Jordan Pereira. He was living in North Queensland and he asked the Cowboys every single year to have a run with them to prove what he could do, but it never happened. And then when he was playing in Mackay, he got a phone call from the Dragons. He drove for 26 hours down to Wollongong to start training for the Red V to cover for Nene McDonald when he was injured. And to think it all may not have happened if the Dragons had been successful in recruiting Brett Morris from the Bulldogs. Bit of a sliding doors moment for Jordan Pereira.
He also spent some time playing in the local league over there in Perth, linked up, as you mentioned, North Queensland, and was signed by the Dragons right at the death before the deadline midway through 2017. His form just demanded that he was picked in the side by Paul McGregor. And as a fill-in with a reshuffle, Nana McDonald out of action for a few weeks for the Dragons, and he's taken that chance and cemented the spots in front of Jason Nightingale, as we mentioned. Lattimore is out there. He signed during the week to remain the Dragon beyond the end of this season as Graham plays it for McGuinness. Is Lisa Nam now. Despite all the work they've done defensively, and they've been good on their own line, they've been able to find a way to counter-attack and come up with a 6-0 lead. The kick. End over and again. By makes the catch, and he looks up and sees Tarek Sims right there.
Oh, that's not terrifying. A nice feeling now. That's terrifying. And he did well to catch it, didn't he? Sims, that's a trademark of his, putting kick pressure on or getting through and actually drilling the player when he catches the ball. His timing was impeccable there, Sims.
It seems as though both teams coming here tonight playing for their premiership lives. That is definitely the case for the Tigers, not so for the Dragons, but given everything that's happened in the past 6 weeks, it just feels like they had to come away with a win here tonight, and they are on top. 10 out from half-time. McDonald bringing it back. He's lost the ball. The call will be a strip with 2 in the tackle.
And it's the first penalty for the Dragons, and it's taken 30 minutes, and they needed it. Down this end of the field, Fanua comes in and he strips it. There it is. Chris Lawrence involved in the tackle, and they'll get some relief here, the Dragons. And the difference tonight has been their attitude. They've been resilient early on. They've showed plenty of fight, and they're getting rewarded for it now, the Dragons. You'll see there it is, the first penalty for them.
I thought initially that McDonald was looking to offload that ball, but there's another penalty.
That's a mark. That was a penalty.
Back-to-back.
Well, it rains at pause.
They might be pouring points in a moment here. The Tigers under pressure again. Their own end of the field. The Dragons buoyant off the back of the try by Pereira. A win here tonight against the Tigers cements their place in the finals. It's just a matter of what happens in the final 2 games of the season. Man, bouncing away from the tackle there of Masters. Then again across the face of them, and Masters is dragged a long way from his right centre position. We'll see if the Dragons decide to shift it left. There's Masters again, still caught making a tackle in the middle of the field. Marshall defending at left centre. As a result, they go straight there. Laffey for Pereira. Sliding across, Norfoluma got there. Pereira still going. Now you think there's space back on the right-hand side. Graham going to the line, loses call. 6 again. McInnes only half a metre short.
Still short on the right.
That's where they head. Dufty trying to link up. He goes wide to McDonald. Nangama is there. He pops it out the back. Dufty dives to the line. Desperate defence by the Tigers, who were offside on that left edge.
Elijah Taylor just come up with a try saver. They were offside, but they are defending desperately. They've saved about 3 different try-scoring opportunities, the West Tigers, on that, just that one set of 6.
Looks like they're going to
take the 2, Kevin.
Well,
Tigers are on the ropes.
well, they were. It was a good opportunity again just to fine-tune their attack. Oof. Lawrence was the one, wasn't it, coming in there and stopping it, and then McDonald gets the offload here.
Yes, mate, any more round, you can go closer.
Yeah, great tackle. Taylor, Elijah Taylor.
Yeah, there was huge space out of the right-hand side. Kev, you called it before they threw the pass, and I feel like if they would have kicked it, if Dufty would have kicked it out to Nene McDonald, it would have got the ball there quick enough and more momentum for him to catch the ball on the run. But the pass just gave the Tigers defence enough time to scramble and get across and save the day. But still, I mean, the Dragons, considering the start and how dominant the Tigers were early, showing great signs.
Tim Laffey with the kicking duties tonight. Hands to the upright. His first game as a kicker in 2018 with Gareth Whittip doing all the kicking, apart from one attempt last week by Ben Hunt. What a miss that might prove to be. They go for 2, they get nothing, and the Tigers have possession.
Well, it's a funny game, rugby league, sometimes, isn't it? It could be a big moment in this game.
Here's Eisenhuth. Work it away. Conservative call by the Dragons to go for 2. Now Marshall just outside the 30. The chase here, a fair one as well. Norfoluma on the gallop. Dufty beats him to it. But it's a good effort by Benji Marshall to pin the Dragons inside their 20 after they were going nowhere. And now here's a strong tackle on Pereira. He got crunched by Jesse Sue.
Real experienced play from Benji Marshall. That early kick now has the Dragons under pressure from nowhere.
Great chase also by Norfoluma to put Dufty under pressure. They got to him in time, and now the Dragons have used up 4. They're just outside their own 30. A shift from Hunt to McDonald. This towards Luke Brooks. In tandem tonight with Fanua and also Taylor. Leaky left edge. And it was against the Raiders last week. Has had a bit more starch about it here tonight. Norfoluma on the kick return will bring it back, and he runs into Tariq Sims. And 5 out from half-time. Just the one try in the game so far.
Poor David Norfoluma. He just chased the kick from Benji Marshall down one end of the field. Then he has to get back there to receive that kick and bring it back. Huge effort by him.
And then he runs into Tariq Sims. All for his trouble. All for his good luck.
How are you feeling, bud? He's tired.
See how Mahe Fanua's going at the back end of this game. First game back since round 15. That broken arm he suffered. And a foul for Marshall. Here's Moses and By. Masters back on the inside. He's made a career out of breaking tackles so far in 2018. Now an international as Marshall heads back to the right-hand side. Another kick by the Tigers that nobody anticipates. And Dufty, as a result, has to pick it up in the corner. It works out well for Marshall and Wes as they've got them pinned here in a corner of the field, but still nobody realising that kick was coming. Laffey, he'll take it forward. They stop him there barely just outside the 10. And they're midway through this set. They have a couple of good carries here. Lattimore with the first of them. Gets it back to the 20. McInnes has Tariq Sims winding up on the angle. He runs at Brooks. Fanua was up there making a tackle. They're going to signal 6 more tackles. What a result for the Dragons that is. Graham gets a breather. They were about to be kicking from deep inside their own territory on the last play. Instead, they get 6 more, and here's McInnes. Bringing it back. And a penalty again. Make it 4 straight now for the Dragons.
Yeah, it does. 4 in a row. Ben Hunt looking to get on with things here. They've got enough. 3.5 minutes left on the clock. Where are they going to attack here, Braith? What's the plan?
I'd like to see Kurt Mann get involved. Just take some pressure off Hunt. And then obviously Hunt to run the ball, either on the 3rd or 4th tackle. That's when he's at his best.
Another opportunity presents itself for the Dragons. Latimer just outside the 20. Man waiting for a chance on this left edge again. They've been dangerous. Good tackle there. Right around the legs by Eisenhuth on Frizzell. Latimer is punching in towards the uprights. Man shoving players in behind the play. We'll go to the right edge for Hunt instead, though. First man play for Sims, who was cut down by Brooks, right on top of the line. What an effort by the halfback. Last tackle here. There was a hand there. They're going to say play on, and the Tigers have possession.
What a try-saving tackle that was from Luke Brooks. Ben Hunt going into the defensive line. Beautiful little pass to Tariq Sims. Twice the size of him and stops him just before the try line. Now the offload from Farah. Cheekham on the attack.
Good meters to West from their own end. After surviving an onslaught, what a tackle it was by Brooks. Now Marshall and Mbai. Man again. It's been tremendous defensively in this left edge. Farah waiting at dummy half. Seems to be sucking in the big ones at the moment. Robbie after that run and then the offload and the tackle.
They look tight, the Tigers.
Marshall at the line. They've got them backpedaling. Brooks a cut-out ball. It cuts out everybody.
Oh, Nano McDonald was sweating on that one.
Brooks appealing for a touch there.
Look at this
by the
tackle.
Dragons. There it is again. Even his head in the wrong position there, comes across. Oh, and he thought about reaching out, then thought better of it.
I was quite amazed how he stopped him there. There's some great vision from our cameras. Tempting could that have been?
Like Luke Lewis in the grand final was.
Presence of mind not to reach out and plant the ball down and potentially give away a penalty. Arm out. We go inside the final 60 seconds. Try against the run of play. Jordan Pereira, the difference here at the moment. Man goes to Leilu, the man who made the bust and the man who missed him defensively. Marshall on this occasion able to make the tackle. Lattimore to Armau. Into the starting side, but coming off the bench here tonight for Paul McGregor. Last play. They chance their arm. Hunt goes to Man. 2-on-2. Laffey dragging Masters in, but the pass to him has been ruled forward.
Yeah, good option there for the Dragons. Just couldn't quite get their execution right. Laffey, big, strong centre. He's got a nice little offload at him as well. They're trying to free him up. That's the pass there. Good tactics from the Dragons. A little bit of execution better.
Is it forward?
Might have been a tough call. Looks pretty good watching it live. The Tigers in no hurry to get things back underway. And for the first time since 2014 here at Leichhardt, they've been kept scoreless in the first half. Luke Brooks still arguing the toss about what he perceived to be a touch by the Dragons, which didn't result in 6 more tackles on the attack. That's the old scoreboard on the Wayne Pearce Hill at Leichhardt Oval. The Tigers at home for the 3rd and final time in 2018. At the moment down 6 points to 0 to Tyson Frizzell and the Dragons. What a game he had in the first 40. There was a bit more fire about the Dragons forward pack with their carries with the ball in that first 40 minutes. And we'll see if they can go on with things here in this second half. If they should win this game by 6 points, they would leapfrog the Panthers into 4th position on the ladder. The Tigers, well, their scenario is a simple one. They just have to win. Otherwise, they would need a rugby league mathematical miracle to make the finals.
No doubt was. They need to win, and Robbie Farah will need a better second half than the first. They tried hard, but they come up with way too many errors down the other end of the field when they needed to come up and execute their plays a lot better than what they did. Kurt Mann had a solid first half, and the Dragons have certainly turned up with a great attitude this evening.
It's the Tigers through Benji Marshall to get us back underway. Second half between the Tigers and the Dragons. And while we're not at Homebush at ANZ Stadium, we're not that far away. And maybe a little sense of deja vu for Ben Hunt.
Yeah, he had it and he lost it. Never looked comfortable, really, did he? Unfortunate there for the Dragons, but they've been pretty resilient with their defence. They'll get another workout here.
Well, he's in shock there, disbelief, a wry smile. He's not happy, there's no doubt about that. And his side, well, they're under pressure from the kickoff. What a horrible start. Poor Benny Hunt.
And it took a Hunt mistake off the kickoff to the second half to get the Tigers fans to produce the Tigers chant for the first time here tonight. What a gift opportunity this is. 3 metres out, and Farah turns it back underneath. Jesse Sue trying his luck. Will be repelled though, and eventually dragged to the ground there by Tyson Frizzell. Here's Taylor. Farah on the wraparound. Brooks goes to Lawrence. Chris Lawrence! A Tiger through and through. And he goes through to score their first try of the night.
I have a try. Can you just confirm that he got it down in the first second?
Well, this is beautiful. Ben Hunt watches on in disbelief. He cannot believe what has happened to start this second half. Chris Lawrence can. His 5th try for the West Tigers.
Possession of the ball and grounds the ball in the in goal.
This season at Leichhardt, and there is no player who is West Tigers through and through more than Chris Lawrence. What a season he has had. What a line he runs on that outside in line as Ben Hunt. He is in shock. He cannot believe it, and I feel for Ben Hunt right now. I really do.
Well, it was a nice piece of work from the Tigers. That's the drop ball from Hunt. And straight away, from the scrum, someone's giving him obviously a bit of lip there, with a smile on the face. Nice little set piece here from the Tigers. We see this a lot. In the line of Lawrence, he's faded out, then he came back into the space. That tricked Hunt. He didn't know where he was running. Back on the inside shoulder there of Hunt and through the tackle of Sims, and he crashes over for the Tigers to get themselves back in the game.
Oh, Ben Hunt. Like a nightmare. Just a nightmare.
Essen Masters, the kick held out perhaps by the wind blowing over his left shoulder. It'll stay at a 2-point lead for the Dragons, but what an opening to this second half, Hannah Hollis.
What a start, Warren. Benji Marshall at the break said it can't get any worse in the second, and they have absolutely turned it around. Coach Ivan Cleary said at the break, go back to the game plan, boys. Calm down and the points will come, and we just saw evidence of that. As for Paul McGregor, he was focused on discipline, clean up the penalties for this next 40 minutes. That's what killed us in the first half.
And the Dragons got the last 4 penalties of the first half. Couldn't add to their scoreline off the back of it, though. The kickoff is a deep one, and Moses Mbai digs in like he was on the ice skating rink. After performing a triple Lutz, perhaps, and just stayed inside the dead ball line. Kevin Nangama. I called the figure skating in Vancouver.
I was wondering where you got the double Lutz or whatever.
The triple Lutz. Better than the triple Lindy. Made famous by Rodney Dangerfield, of course. The Dragons give away another penalty. We might see a triple Lindy from a few fans tonight if the Tigers get the cash here.
Well, it's another penalty, isn't it, going the Tigers' way? Not what the Dragons wanted to start this second half. Drop ball try, now penalty.
It's Masters. The human handful on the right-hand side will play it for Farah. Eisenhuth. Something to stop himself right here. Good tackle, though. Lattimore getting his body square in front of him, along with Arnow. Now Brooks weaving in traffic. Taking the ground there as he tried to fend away from Lattimore. Frizzell finished him off. Marshall here very flat on this left-hand side. The Taylor. Take it inside the 10. Another tremendous chance for the Tigers. Farah picks it up in trademark fashion. One hand. Jesse Sue stopped there like he hit a brick wall. McInnes was underneath him. Farah out the back. Marshall likewise. It goes to ground. Knocked on by Essen Masters. And they're back to type as they were in the first half.
Yeah, look, a little bit loose there, wasn't it, from the Tigers? A little miscommunication, I think, more than anything. Didn't get their set-up play right, and Masters shaking his head there. But the pass sort of bounced off the ground. It was always going to be difficult for him to handle.
Yeah, Benji Marshall, when he was walking off the field at half-time, to Hannah Hollis said that he couldn't get any worse. Their last tackle options were poor and they need to fix them. Well, to start the second half, not the best one there from the Tigers.
They'll try and just steady things. Comes to Frizzell, who turns arm now underneath him. Good angle there, and equally good tackle made by Elijah Taylor. Frizzell, so many carries tonight, racking up some numbers. Make it 11 for the game now, along with 20 tackles also, as Hunt puts it in the air, and by standing underneath it yet again, another end-over-end kick from Ben Hunt. Just doesn't seem to have that spiral in his repertoire, does he?
Well, I know he's got it in his artillery, but he just, for whatever reason, not bringing it out. Maybe that's their plan, is to just kick through and try and catch.
He's down in confidence. I mean, he kicked one out in the full, nearly went to the grandstand. As a nice offload there from North Faluma and Esau Masters. But when you're down in confidence, you go for the safe option. You go for the safe play and the conservative one. Not always the best.
By floating sideways, going nowhere there in the tackle. Tarek Sims, Farrett, Lawrence now looking inside, going outside, and then Mahe Fanua lost the ball in the tackle there of Ewan Aitken. It was a great tackle by Aitken because he was on a charge, wasn't he, Mahe?
Really good tackle from Aitken, and he's had his hands full tonight. He's done a really good job on this right-hand side. The contact is awesome. Bang. Rocks Fanua back and comes up with an error. The pass from Lawrence, not the best one. Good defence from the Dragons.
Well, he had to put his body on the line there, didn't he? Fanua coming hard, just rubbing his eye there. Might have been a bit of head contact there as well. Again, the Tigers coming up with an error.
It's just composure, Kevy. They're just a little bit erratic, just trying to make something happen nearly every play.
Yeah. Well, I think that was the message from the coach at half-time, is to get back to basics and the points will come. Well, they'll come with 2 handling errors in the opening 7 minutes of the second half.
Very slow. Play the ball there to McDonald, then Lay Lua. Plenty of numbers to stop him. Big carry now for Zell again. Dare say he'll play the 80 minutes out here tonight. He might rack up quite a tally in doing so. Tarek Sims trying to follow suit. Could play the ball from McInnes. Goes back to Armau. Stopped there by Lawrence, along with Farah. A play at midfield, 20 metres out, last tackle. Hunt looking inside, grubbering in behind them. Aitken there, beaten to the ball though by Kevin Ngama. And he'll bring it back to play it here just inside the Tigers 10. The first half was very much an arm wrestle played between the 20 at either end, and after the Tigers scored this try in the opening minutes of the second half, it's developed that way once again. Fanua almost coughing it up once again. Did well to hang on to the ball there. Jesse Sue working his way back towards the halfway line. Farrah's kick out of dummy half. Return McDonald around. A straight line chasing here from the Tigers. He looks up McDonald. Lawrence is there, so is Fanua. And they've got him stopped just outside the Dragons 10. Both teams looking for a mistake. Deep in opposition territory if they can force one. Just the 2 points separating them at the moment. It's hard to see a 6-4 scoreline coming here tonight this deep into the game with almost 50 minutes gone. Sims to play it. McInnes jumps out of dummy half, runs towards Farah. Good carry there by the co-captain. He'll play it for Hunt on the last tackle. He looked to the open side and came back to the short side to kick it, and Bai wants to keep it in play and fires a long pass in breezy conditions here tonight. David Norfoluma might have his ice skates on because he slipped over pretty comfortably there as they came towards him. Oh. Likewise, there'll be a deduction there as far as artistic impression is concerned. Did a lot of homework before those Olympic Games in Vancouver, Braith. A lot of homework.
It's impressive. Really impressive. Oh, I know. Is it Nancy Kerrigan? For me.
All we need to know is the judging is usually a rort when it comes to the figure skating. Farah to play it. Right. To Jesse Sue. Good offload here. Farah is sizing things up, links up with Lawrence. And he'll play it inside the 30. Last tackle. Comes across to Brooks. Oh, he slips over now. The Zamboni out there to do the ice again or something. Here's Brooks looking around the back of Cheekham for himself. Man under pressure. Nothing happening for the Tigers there, and maybe new footwork required for required for a bunch of players.
Yeah, possibly right there was, but great work from Kurt Mann again, just shielding that ball. He's had a strong game on that left side for the Dragons tonight, particularly in defence. Run a lot of traffic down that side, and he's stood up to the occasion beautifully so far.
McDonald under pressure here. A reminder, the Sharks and the Cowboys, they are up next, live from Southern Cross Group Stadium. It's the final Sydney game of the great JT, and we'll follow Jonathan Thurston's every step. His last ever game on Fox League. And of course, the full wrap-up from Bonnie and the boys after full time. The kick by Mann over the head there of Norfoluma sits up on a point. Friendly bounce for the Tigers. And the bullocking right winger will bring it back and play it here just outside the 30. This arm wrestle continues on.
It's an arm wrestle. They're going toe-to-toe, both teams. It's hard to know which side is going to come out on top. It could go either way. And so much on the line. So much on the line.
Well, it's those last play options too that are going to be the key, isn't it, Braith?
Yeah.
Both teams have got some key players there with Ben Hunt for the Dragons and Benji Marshall and Luke Brooks for the Tigers. A couple of handy players there.
Oh.
Strong tackling again from Tarek Sims, and he comes down over the top of Luke Brooks.
Oh, no,
gives away a penalty.
Chris Ryan's is in front of him.
It's a big shot here from Tarek Sims. Comes out and bang, he hits Luke Brooks, but he just comes over the top again with that little left arm, forearm into the neck of Brooks. He took it a little bit too far. Obviously, it didn't hurt Brooks. He took the quick tap and he was off.
He was ready to go again, wasn't he? Good opportunity here now for the Tigers. Had some luck here before, not some success, not luck, at this left edge against Ben Hunt and co. Maybe they'll come back here again.
The penalty was well within range there for Essen Masters, but they decide to tap it and go. I'm sure he would have been able to get the distance there despite the breeze here tonight. They're looking to take the lead. Taylor it is. Gets the legs pumping and takes it inside the Dragons 10. Farah goes to Eisenhuth on the run around. Similar play to the one that saw Lawrence score. Ben Hunt was there again, pushing up, and he was too quick. And it's going to be a sin binning for Ben Hunt.
Offside in the field. I just spoke to Cameron.
Well,
an official warning before the penalty results in Ben Hunt being offside and going to the sin bin. The third straight week the Dragons have had a player sin binned. Last week they gave up a try to the Eels when they were down to 12 men. The week before against the Warriors they gave up 3 tries. What will happen in the next 10 minutes here tonight at Leichhardt?
Well, it could prove costly, and you can see there, I like that. I like that. James Graham helping his teammate, giving him support at a time when he needs it. Regardless, love him or hate him, go for the Dragons or not, the kid's under pressure. He's had a tough few weeks. He's had a tough season, and he's had a tough second half. He is human.
And with a bit of hook, Essen Masters brings it back. He gave everybody a fright sitting right behind the line of the kick. But we're locked up here at Leichhardt, and it's 13 versus 12 for the next 10 minutes.
Interesting, Kevy, they take the 2 points there when a player's off the field, 13 v 12, when they didn't take it only a couple of minutes ago.
Well, it's a big 10 minutes now here, isn't it, for both teams. The Tigers need to get this right, and they can pick up some points here. Got no doubt about that. They've got to control the ball. And likewise for the Dragons, well, we need to lift defensively. They've got their man down. Big 10 minutes here for both teams.
And just a reminder, the Dragons, the last 2 times in the last 2 weeks, they've had a player sin binned. They've given up a total of 4 tries. This is crucial. They hang on here tonight while Hunt is missing. It'll make it difficult when they've got the ball. Takes away a last play kicking option. And quite obviously, Hunt has done the majority of it here this evening. Farah at dummy half. How much composure do the Tigers have? They go with a shift from inside their own end immediately. And Bai had the option there to go to Fanua if he lets it go. Well, plenty of metres coming up in this left edge for West. Fanua dumps it out the back. Farah is there. Quickly it goes through Eisenhuth. Cheekham keeps it going. Here's Masters stepping in traffic. Got away from Leilua. The pass back on the inside for Eisenhuth is knocked on.
And not the answer either for the Tigers. Just needed to complete their sets and get to a kick. Creating a bit of havoc here. It's not the answer. They've just got to get through steady football. It was nice work, wasn't it? Good shift.
Great shift, Kevy. This has been the story of their night. No patience, no composure, creating opportunities, but then coming up with a poor last pass or execution when they've had all the momentum. It's cost them dearly.
Looks like Paul McGregor's going to make a tactical ploy here and pull one of the middle players off to get Jay Field on.
That is an intriguing move with the speedster. About to play his 4th game in the NRL, having made his debut in round 1 last season. Hasn't appeared so far in 2018. And with the injury to Widdop, gets a chance off the bench. He's out there now, and it was Jeremy Lattimore that he replaces. This is a real potential gamble by Paul McGregor. Armau, a man short, and a front row are replaced by a live wire playmaker in the number 19, Jay Field, out there now, shifting it on through man. Here's Leilua, steps away from Cheekham, who overchased. Field back on the inside there. It'll be a penalty for Field being tackled before the ball came to him, and from right in front, the Dragons will take the 2 and resume the lead.
Without doubt.
Cameron.
And already Jay Field having 2 touches in the first set of 6. I like the move. I like it with Ben Hunt off, and obviously they need some direction, some firepower, and he's came through the grades at the St George Illawarra Dragons, and he is a live wire and a high quality player, and already they get a result here. They'll go for 2 as Fanua comes off the field. That's an interesting move there too. He must be injured, or they're just resting him in game 1 back.
First game back from a broken arm. Perhaps he's feeling the pinch. Having not appeared in the NRL since round 15, but we'll wait and see what that reshuffle means on the left edge. Chris Lawrence, of course, a natural replacement at left centre for Fanua, as Laffey from right in front makes no mistake, and the Dragons edge their noses back in front again. 8 points to 6, but still with about 5 to 7 wrongs. About 7 or 8 minutes remaining there for Ben Hunt in the sin bin. So Luke Garner comes on. He will take the place of Lawrence at left edge back rower. Lawrence will shift back out here to left centre. Marshall goes long, and the Tigers paid the price. That lack of composure when they made that half bust. Masters was away. Couldn't ignore the chance to pass to Eisenhuth back on the inside. They turned it over, and the Dragons have the lead. Here's DeBellin. Good carry there. Legs tackle made by Taylor, but it's a quick play, the ball. McInnes for Leilua, charging hard. Another quick play, the ball. It'll be a penalty against the Tigers, and they were desperate there to try and slow things down.
Leilua's had a big game. Really big game. He started, he created their first and only try so far tonight. And he gets a penalty for his side there, much needed one.
Just from purely running hard, wasn't it? A quick play of the ball, and he took the Tigers defence on and won.
It's Laffey. Bobble there potentially as he played the ball. Play on for the Dragons. Good tackle this time from Eisenhuth on Leilua. Man has field out the back. He runs towards Luke Brooks, who was terrorised by the Raiders in the second half last week as they mounted that comeback. They came up short. The Dragons, by contrast, have a narrow lead here. They're on the attack again. McInnes goes to man. Dufty, cut-out ball. Norfoluma had to track back towards Pereira, staying alive. He gives it to Dufty. DeBellin is there. Farah comes in, makes a big tackle. Dufty gets swamped off the offload by DeBellin. 2 plays left. The Tigers bunched in the middle of the field. They kick it out of dummy half through McInnes, and Farah has it. They had them shot to bits on the edges. Interesting call to make that play when the Tigers had been drawn towards the middle of the field. McInnes, a rush of blood there, kicked it straight to Farah.
Yeah, Farah swooped on it too, didn't he? His eyes lit up when he saw the kick coming. Great work from the experienced Tigers rate.
Tigers fans trying to use the home field advantage and scream for a penalty. Last play here. Tigers in trouble to get a kick in. Farah eventually stabs it towards the corner. McDonald will come down. He's got Dufty back there with him. He'll use the fullback as well. The chase down the middle of the field was a slack one from the Tigers, and they almost pay a price. It's man. Stopped here by Masters. And also Cheekham. Now Leilua, boy, shot there from Ben Madalino, who is fresh back out on the field for Ivan Cleary. It's pretty much do or die right here tonight at Leichhardt for the Tigers, trailing by 2. Go inside the final quarter of the game. James Graham is good to go and fresh back on the field also. The kick for the sideline, a good one from the Dragons. Will use up some time on the clock with Ben Hunt still waiting to return from the sin bin.
Yeah, nice kick there from Kurt Mann as Armel gets a well-deserved rest, and it's a smart play from the number 6. Obviously not familiar in this position. He's played it quite a few times, but comes in under pressure. Big shoes to fill with Gareth Widdop being out, and comes up with the right play at the right time of the game. Gives himself his side and himself a rest. And it's still a long way to go. Player off, 8 points to 6. It is still in the balance.
It is tight. It might well be dramatic before we're done here tonight. We were guessing about Mahe Fanua just being rested. Hannah Hollis, that's the case for the Tigers, we believe.
Yes, Warren, Mahe Fanua, he's not injured. The Tigers bench keeping the information very close to their chest as to why he was taken off, or if we can expect to see him back home tonight. But I asked about the injury and they said, nope, he's all good. So maybe it's just a fitness thing at the moment.
What a tackle by Tarek Sims, and he's forced a mistake. The referees had a little chat about the way the ball came loose. Watch this again as Brooks turns Garner underneath him, and Tarek Sims comes out like a missile. Second effort, the ball comes free on the ground here. The Tigers thought he was entitled to play the ball. The referees disagreed. He hadn't really regained his feet before he planted it on the ground. A good call by the official.
I love that call. This is a great shot. Tarek Sims stalking his prey. He's been doing it all night, whether it be Luke Brooks. This time comes up with a big shot. He had to get to his feet to play that ball, and he didn't.
What a game he's had on his right-hand side. Tarek Sims, Tyson Frizzell has been tremendous also. In the middle of the field, here's Leilua running into Cheekham. And the Dragons maybe a minute away from Ben Hunt returning. In fact, he's out there now, having just run onto the field. So we're back to 13 on 13. And the Dragons have done very well while Hunt was missing. Tremendous stints. They've regained the lead while he was in the sin bin. Now 13 on 13, deep on the attack. They can make it more than a converted try. The difference if they can find a way to score here. De Belin stopped here.
Numbers left.
One more play remaining. McInnes goes to the left-hand side. Field, Leilua keeps it going here for Dufty. Tries to get away from Packer, manages to do so. Still floating. Runs to Lawrence. Here's a bit of space now for McDonald. He charges hard, trying to offload. Play on for the Tigers. No! Knock on against West.
Wow. I'm not sure about this.
I'm positive it wasn't a knock-on from the Tigers. This is a good call to go the Dragons' way. Robbie Farah can't believe it. McDonald gets in behind. It's an offload.
Now here. Ooh. I think he's right, Kev.
Little bobble of the ball after it comes off Farah initially there. Backwards, play on to this point, and then that there.
There it is.
Knock on right there. Great call by Grant Atkins.
He's a good referee.
Oh, he's the best. Never in doubt.
Apologies there to everyone.
He was within a metre of the play, so...
Yeah. I'm going to get my eyes checked too, I think.
We're getting old, Kevy.
On the attack still. The Dragons and Leilua bust through them. The second big impact of the game for Luciano. He makes it a 6-point lead. A kick to come, 15 remaining, and the Dragons in danger of busting out of the slump.
Well, he's a powerhouse, isn't he? Look at the strength here that he shows. Straight over the top of Keacham. Look at that, busting through. And over the big man goes. The big swan dive through the air. Leilua. Wow, what a try. Is that the match winner for the Dragons? He likes the celebration too, just like his brother.
Well, Luciano Leilua has had a night out here at Leichhardt Oval. The job is not done yet, but he created the first try for Jordan Pereira down the short side. Now he's come up with some individual brilliance, and he's always had the potential, this kid. He's big, he's strong, he's got great footwork, he's fast for his size, and he's skillful. And on that occasion, he come up with a big play.
Big conversion here too, coming up, isn't it? Let's get him outside that try and conversion buffer.
Far from a foregone conclusion. With the wind as it is here in Sydney tonight. But this can make it very tough for the home team. Laffey, no mistake, slots it. And it's 14 points to 6. He set up the first try. Jordan Pereira in the first half. Luciano Leilua, tremendous run to grab their try here in the second half. The live ladder, if things stay as they are with the Dragons in front, they would move into 4th position on 4 and against, ahead of the Panthers, and confirm their place in the finals. They'd be 6 clear of the Tigers with only 2 rounds remaining.
Considering the circumstances, this will be their biggest win of the year. Or their best.
Just had to come here and show something tonight. That they have. And done it the hard way as well. Out of 12 men for the 3rd week in a row, but a far better outcome tonight. Perhaps they're getting used to it. It's Mann. We'll play it here, and another penalty. And the contact being one of the tackles by the Dragons in this second half, forcing penalties to be given away by the Tigers. And they'll slow things down. 14 remaining with an 8-point lead. Jesse Sue about to come back on for the Tigers.
It was Kurt Mann on that occasion, wasn't it? Just straightened up the attack. got himself between defenders, and then that put the defensive line under pressure.
It's DeBellin to work it forward. So go inside the 30. This one could just about put it to bed if they could find a way in here in their set. Leilua puts it down as soon as you say that. And Marshall has it for West. What a reprieve for the Tigers.
Well, they've kept the door open there, the Dragons. Second tackle, Ben Hunt comes up with a poor pass to Leilua. Now the Tigers, their Achilles heel has been their impatience and their lack of composure. They have the credibility, they have the skill set all across the park. Just hold on to the ball.
We also have Jacob Little out there at dummy half. He played 18 minutes off the bench last week in the win against the Raiders. He's out there at the death again tonight. He's had to wait almost 70 minutes this week to get a chance, but here he is out of dummy half, which is what he does very well, and he might scare a few tired Dragons forwards at the end of this game. Brooks would have stopped there for fear of giving away an obstruction play, as Mbai was running a line for him. Last tackle, and they have to be good with their last play options from this point on. The kick will come down in the field of play. Pereira goes up for it, makes a good catch for St George Illawarra, and then wins 8 hard-earned metres. Laffo stopped there by Little. Well, a lot offered in those last few plays by the Tigers, with a mix-up between Brooks and Mbai on play 5. The kick swallowed nicely by Pereira. And it's McDonald just trying to take every metre he can get to play it here just outside the 30. Play 5 coming up for the Dragons. Graham goes to DeBellin. They'll wrap him up pretty comfortably. And they'll kick here on the last from their own side of halfway. How conservative do they want to be, Hunt? We'll kick it towards the sideline, and Mbai gets a friendly bounce. It sits up for him, and he fires it straight to Nangama, but the chase is a good one from the Dragons. Graham leading it as well, makes the tackle.
Yeah, it was a great chase from the Dragons. 8 or 9 players down the ground and formed a line.
Norfoluma, strong run here. Laffey was jamming in, looking for a big shot to force the ball free, and Norfoluma picked up 15 valuable metres off the back of it. Little goes from dummy half. He will keep asking questions as Masters does likewise. Pops it out the back. Little is there waiting for it. And just like that, on 3 plays, they're down within 30 of the Dragons line. Marshall finds Brooks. He goes back to the middle again. Not much happening. They're trying to make things up on the run there. And here's Jesse Sue. Grabbed only just by Jay Field. Marshall, last tackle. Numbers to the left-hand side. A wide pass to Garner. Lawrence on his outside. Garner will die there, and that's the changeover.
Well, surely Garner was aware that was the 5th tackle, and he had to come up with either a pass or a kick, just something. He took the tackle, and they are well and truly behind on the scoreboard. They've got to come up with points, and points soon, and Ivan Cleary would have to be frustrated with that 5th tackle play.
Might be more frustrated with the play before it, when Brooks had them lined to the left-hand side and then just didn't see what he wanted, so went back to the middle and sort of robbed them of any momentum for that final play shot. The speed in the play, the ball made it hard there, and they were wrapped up pretty comfortably when Garner died with it. Pressure there on the rookie in game number 6. Last tackle option. The Dragons have it as a result here just outside their 30. Graham. He'll work it forward. Shot there by Packer. Now McInnes with only one marker. Oh, good work by Packer to reach out and stop him running away. Graham gets there. Gives it to Hunt. Last tackle. The halfback gets nabbed. Tarek Sims, why not? Puts up the best kick of the night. A floater, which Norfoluma couldn't get to. Here's Mbai trying to stay alive. Cleaned up by DeBellin.
Well, he put some on it, didn't he? Sims. Ooh. The Tigers got to come up with something here.
And Garner, I don't know how he avoided making contact with that pass. There's the hoof by Tarek Sims. It was an awkward one to handle. It could have gone anywhere once it hit the deck. A little from dummy half. Marshall on the inside. Impact there from Madalino. Last play again, a long way from home, and Brooks it is, just chipping in behind them. It'll bounce down towards Duffy, who picks it up on the gallop. But he will play it here just outside the 10, and they need something, and they need a repeat set at this end, the Tigers, and they give away a penalty instead.
Yeah, there's not much going on at the moment for the West Tigers. They're trying hard and running through the middle early on in their sets, but I think they need to try and get to the edges earlier. I know you've got to try and get those quick play the balls and earn the right to go to the edges, but they're 8 points behind. The clock is ticking. They need to find some passes. They're running one out.
Yeah, they look a bit rattled, don't they? The experience of Marshall needs to take control out there.
A loss for the Tigers here tonight. A second ball on the field. It's going to be play on for the moment. The ball dispensed with. And the loss for the Tigers would have them 4 points behind the Warriors and the Broncos. Sharks, of course, to play beyond this game tonight against the Cowboys. And Jonathan Thurston's last Sydney appearance. That one live next on Fox League. They just have to find a way out of this jam. The Tigers in the remaining 7 minutes. The Dragons doing it nicely for the moment. McInnes goes across to Kurt Mann, steps back on the inside of Madalino, gets away from Garner also, looking for an offload, but he decides to hang on to it. Last play here, Frizzell at first receiver, finds Ben Hunt, Grubbers in behind them, and Bai was there, he's got Sims coming down on top of him. What a force he's been on this right edge tonight, Tariq Sims.
What a game from Tariq Sims. He's been an enforcer, and he has scared the life, the bejesus out of the West Tigers.
Might be time for a goal line shift here, boys. The Tigers,
something.
3 plays gone. Norfoluma comes in for a run.
Esau Masters on the right wing. He's calling the ball out there. He wants it to get there. Here we go.
They get there eventually. Cheekham offered a long imbibe pass. He was trying to pop it on the inside. Another mistake by the Tigers. And it's, I think, fair to say they've been awful with their handling here tonight.
Yeah, that wasn't the right option there. They should have kept tipping on the outside. Norfoluma was there waiting for the ball. See the outside there. Marshall looking for it as well, but just couldn't get it to where it was meant to go.
When Garner comes back to the bench, his night would seem to be over for the Tigers. They get down to the back end of their interchanges. Inside 6 minutes remaining. And the Dragons, hot favourites to wrap up the 2 points here tonight. And what a win it would be off the back of that 40 points to 4 scoreline last week against the Eels. Aitken. Back on the angle. Look to break a 3-game losing streak, and a win cements their place in the 2018 finals. Frizzell. They're playing here inside the 20. McInnes for DeBellin. It's quiet. An old Leichhardt here at the back end of the game. Sims to play it. McInnes goes to Graham. Packer there along with Madalino making the tackle. And then Jacob Little tries to slow things down also. They go to the left-hand side. Frizzell charging. He gets across the line. And you can buy those finals tickets now. The Dragons are headed to September in 2018.
They are happy, and so they should be. McInnes, great little pass there to Tyson Frizzell. He's been close to their best player all night, running hard, close to the line. He's too big, he's too strong, and he's excited, and so he should be. The St George Illawarra Dragons put the game beyond reach, and it's been all class, determination.
It certainly has been, Braithen. That man there on screen, Frizzell, has been a big part of, and James Graham, he's getting in on the act as well, and DeBellin too. Sims, their back row tonight, have really stood up. Frizzell, of course, started in the front row, but has shifted back into the backer as the game went on. But he started and got the Dragons on the front foot from the get-go. He's a classy player, an origin player, an international player as well. He's played for Australia. He showed his class tonight, just physically dragging the St George Illawarra Dragons over the line.
He has, Kev. He's carried the side. Even in the early stages of the game when they were behind, the Tigers were just dominating it the first 20 to 25 minutes of the game. Tyson Frizzell was the man standing up, running through the middle of the ruck, getting those quick play the balls and getting the Dragons out of trouble. And now he's won them the game.
Well, he certainly has. Been a great performance from him. What you'd expect from him. He's a classy player.
Laffey began his kicking night with a tremendous conversion from the sideline off the back of a Pereira try, and this sellout crowd will thin dramatically in the remaining 3 minutes here tonight. The Tigers are done and the Dragons are through to the playoffs.
Underwhelming the Tigers. They've hardly fired a shot. They've given themselves no chance to create. 18,000 full capacity, 387 majority West Tigers fans are now leaving disappointed. An opportunity missed.
The handling has really let them down here tonight, and then up against it in the second half. The Dragons down to 12 men at one stage with Hunt in the sin bin. Well, they stood tall when they had to. They might be back to their best form, certainly their early season form. The forwards have found something off the back of that loss last week against the Eels, and maybe they were embarrassed by what they showed, especially in that second half. After giving away all the penalties and the points in the first half of the Eels, they didn't offer much in that second stanza. Here is Nangama, puts a kick in. It'll bounce off the legs there of Nene McDonald, and it won't matter at the back end of the game with 2.5 minutes remaining and 14 the difference.
Hurrying to this scrum. Ball coming off McDonald. They've stopped the clock now. They've got 2 minutes and 20 seconds to get something out of this game. All their players are fanned out to the right-hand side of the scrum, all the Tigers. Need to score in this next couple of tackles, really.
Cameron!
It's coming out the same tunnel, gents.
Wait for the out, mate. You're a long way there.
It's been a monumental turn. Look at James Graham. Still not happy. Monumental turnaround from the Dragons from last week to this.
Tarek Sims rather amused by James Graham's explosion there. Seemed to be a fairly clear-cut call.
So angry.
James wasn't too happy. Seen that a few times throughout his career, but he, along with his forward pack, and the go button again tonight. Madalino, Little, and the Dragons here in front of the line with 90 seconds remaining. I won't mind too much here. Paul McGregor, what a relieved coach he will be. Mid-season fade once again. And we'll see what happens in the weeks ahead as they take on, in their final 2 games, the Bulldogs in round 24, the Knights in round 25. Chance perhaps to finish with a rush of form. Lovely pass. Luke Brooks finds Kevin Nangama. And if there is to be a rugby league miracle mathematically in the final 2 weeks of the season, then every point for the Tigers will be pivotal.
This is a great pass from Moses Mbai. Catches, receives, and throws a bullet to Nangama. Great execution, beautiful pass. And although it's too little, too late, it's a great way to finish.
Well, it's a good example, isn't it, both of what they are capable of, the Tigers. They play to their patterns, and we know what they can do.
Quick conversion attempt from the sideline, hits the upright from Masters. They were back level at 6 points all off the back of that Ben Hunt sin binning. Some 53 minutes into the game. But the Dragons have dominated from that point until right now with Brooks. Lovely cutout ball there for Nangama hugging the sideline.
Just look at the tempo there that Mbai played with. He just Waited for the pass, and then he knew how to transfer it very quickly. Nice execution, albeit too late.
11 wins in 2018 for Ivan Cleary. And 11 losses as well, with 2 games remaining. The Tigers and Jason Taylor's last full season back in 2016 had 11 wins and only missed the playoffs by 1 single point. A half win is all that separated them and the Gold Coast Titans, who had an extra draw compared to the Tigers in 2016. That's why they made the finals and the Tigers didn't. And here they are 2 seasons later. No really further in advance as far as wins tallies. Still 2 weeks remaining. Boy, a scrambling play here, about 14 knock-ons as the siren sounds. A play that pretty much symbolised the night for the West Tigers. Benji Marshall against his former club ends up on the losing side of the equation in potentially his final appearance here as a Tiger at Leichhardt Oval. The Dragons tonight, too good to punch their ticket for the finals. They've beaten West here 20 points to 12.